Hello ICCI students, this is David Marshall and I'm bringing you this week 3 update for ICCI students. This is being recorded just about 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, October the 19th, 2016. I'm bringing you greetings from sunny West Palm Beach, Florida today. ICCI is participating in an accreditation workshop with ACCSC. We're hoping to move our U.S. accreditation to another body, to this body, which is stronger, which will ultimately lead to improving the outcomes for you as students, giving you better value, and most importantly, allowing your degree to have a greater street credibility, as it were, on the street. So hoping to bring you some updates from that when I get back next week. But in the meantime, it is Wednesday and time for our weekly update on academic matters. First of all, remember your first discussion post is due tonight at 11:59 p.m. We're getting some feedback from the discussion post grader who's seeing some improvement in the writing, but still reports that there's still issues with punctuation and thoughtful writing. The implication is that her observation is that many of the writing samples are being done at the last minute as opposed to thinking about the discussion prompt and putting something in that's very thoughtful. Please remember that we use APA style at the International College, which will require an in-text citation and a reference at the bottom of your first post. We are seeing some challenges with plagiarism. So again, if you do not know, reach out to one of the on-the-ground writing instructors, the librarian, or your teacher so that you can be clear about what needs to be cited and what does not need to be cited. Additionally, we're posting some videos in Populi so that you can watch the videos to get a better idea of what to do. And this is really important because, again, employers are telling us on the island that oral communication and written communication are the major barriers preventing some graduates from being employed or even promoted. What this means is you might get the job, but you'll never get promoted because the employer or the boss has some concerns about your writing and speaking skills. So doing these two things will greatly improve your opportunities and chances for success in the marketplace. Now that we've had that important update, something really important. It's really important that every time you are given an assignment at ICCI that you ask your teacher this important question: where is the rubric for this assignment? So you ask, what is a rubric? Well, here's a definition that's coming from the Utah Education Network. It's a tool, as it says here, for teachers to set up the grading criteria for assignments. It's helpful to teachers, it's helpful to students. It defines in writing what is expected of you as a student to get a particular grade on an assignment. One noted author in the field, a rubrics expert, says it is a scoring tool that lists the criteria for a piece of work or what counts. So this is a really important tool, not again just to help the teacher, but to help you understand how you've received the grade that you have received. And again, rubrics are important because this prevents the instructor from just putting an arbitrary grade on the paper. The first question that most students ask when they get a grade back, especially if it's a grade that they don't want, like one of these here, what went wrong or what can I do to improve? A rubric helps this discussion. So you may be asking, why are rubrics important? Well, number one, they tell how your grade was calculated. They tell you where specifically you need to improve. You might get a B on an assignment, but that does not mean you did B work on every part of the assignment. Some parts of the assignments could have been A work, some parts of that assignment could be C work. They help you to know exactly what the teacher's looking for when grading, even before you turn in your assignment. This is really important. You should have a rubric at the moment the assignment is given, not just after the assignment is handed back to you. You need the rubric before the assignment, so again, you know what to do. They help the teacher's grading to be more accurate, fair, and consistent. And finally, they help to improve the quality of your overall learning experience. So here's an example of a rubric from Carleton College. This is one for a research paper, it looks like. So this tells you the criteria for the grading, and the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 will tell you, or these numbers will tell you how well you did in each category. So it's possible your bibliography could have been perfect, but maybe your organization was not so good. And by looking at the rubric, you know that the next time your bibliography skills are great and you don't need to mess with those, but maybe you need to spend more time working on organization of facts, details, and supporting thesis. Here's another example of a rubric. This one is a presentation rubric for, it looks like a group project of some sort, or a speaking project. So this one is organized a little differently. You're being graded on content, organization, delivery, visual and multimedia, language, and collaborative involvement. How well did the team work together? So you can see here, while the overall grade might be a C, which is disappointing, you could have scored still the highest grade in visual and multimedia, and maybe the next time you will look at the rubric to see which areas you need to improve on. So what are the assignments that need a rubric? Well, everything almost. Discussion posts, research papers, essays, PowerPoint presentations, class projects, group projects, your library assignment, career readiness day needs one, e-portfolios, and even science lab reports. What are those assignments that generally do not need a rubric? Well, tests. They're pretty much tests, especially if they're true, false, multiple choice, those types of things. The answer is either right or wrong. However, if there is a significant writing portion to the test, a rubric for the test might be appropriate. Quizzes. Again, these are mostly true, false. You've worked out the answer is either right or wrong. And the same thing with math problems. Math, the calculations are either correct or they're not correct. So it's okay if those types of assignments generally don't have a rubric. So for every assignment that is in your grade book in Populi, the following should be present. Number 1, a copy of the actual assignment that you did. A copy of the rubric used to give you the grade for that assignment, helpful feedback to show you how to improve, and the grade itself. All of these things are really important, especially number 3. At every turn, you should be getting helpful feedback to say, the next time you do this assignment, here are some recommendations to improve your performance in this area. So here's how all of this might play out. I'm teaching a course, AP 140, Fundamentals of Speech, and students in the class just had their first speech. Here is how the feedback should look, or is looking, in their Populi gradebook. And obviously, I'm blanking out any identifying areas so that we don't know who this specific student is. So first of all, the student has actually submitted the speech that he or she did in the class. So that way, when grading, I can see what the student has done. There's an actual copy of what the student has done. And so as I'm filling out the rubric, or maybe making some adjustments to the rubric, I can see what the student is doing. Here is the actual rubric that has been filled out for the student, so the student can click on the PDF and see the scoring criteria and where they fell down or where they did extremely well. Here is the actual feedback on the speech itself. It doesn't always have to be a 20-page narrative, just something quick and short to say congratulations, or here are the areas of improvement, and then also the grade. So the student, when he or she logs into Populi, they can see all of these indicators, all designed to help that student improve his or her performance on the next speech. So here's an example of the actual speech rubric that the student sees in Populi. These are the criteria for the grading, and here are the rating areas. So the student can see where he or she did well or didn't do well. And we can see that the areas of improvement are in the areas of the conclusion and in the area of clarity. So that is the weekly update. Good luck to you as you finish out week 3, and best wishes for you as you start week 4 on Monday.